Hello, students. I am Purushottam Vishwakarma, and today we are going to study Deep Water Part Second. In this Part Second, we'll study how he survived. But before that, you need to know what we studied in Part One. A recapitulation required. In Part One, basically, we studied the early life of William Orville Douglas when he was at Yakima. He was hardly 3 to 4 years old when he was accompanied by his father to California Sea Beach, where he had a terrible experience of sea waves. Then, after he had aversion to the water. Furthermore, he starts his story, his narrative, when he was 10, 11 years old. He started learning swimming, where in the YMCA pool, Young Men's Christian Association. There he starts learning swimming. He got his water wings and everything was going well. But one day he had a bad experience. Misadventure happened with him. What happened? He was all alone at the pool. There came a bruiser type of boy, strong built boy with thick hair on chest, nearly 18 years of age, who asked him, "Hi, Skinny, how do you like to be ducked?" and threw him into the pool towards the deep end of the pool, where the depth was 9 feet. Although he was not afraid because he thought he would get out of it easily. He was in water, he tried to jump, but he found water everywhere. So let's continue to part second. Water that had a dirty yellow tinge to it. Dirty yellow. He saw water everywhere. And what was the color? Dirty yellow colored water. Tinge, slight color. I grew panicky. The narrator says that he grew panicky. He was panic stricken. I reached up as if to grab a rope, and my hands clutched only at water. I tried to reach up to the surface to grab a rope, but what I found? Nothing but water. My hands clutched, grabbed nothing but water. I was suffocating. I had suffocation because of water. I could not breathe properly. I tried to yell, but no sound came from inside the water. I tried to yell, I tried to shout, but no sound came out. Then my eyes and nose came out of the water, but not my mouth. Once again, my eyes and nose came out of water, but not my mouth. Only eyes and nose came out, only these organs were visible. I flailed at the surface of the water. I tried to keep myself on the surface of the water, swallowed and choked. But once again, I swallowed water and choked, suffocated. I tried to bring my legs up. I was trying hard to bring my legs up, but they hung as dead weights. But my legs were not helping me. They hung as dead weights, as if my legs were dead, paralyzed and rigid, hard, paralyzed. A great force was pulling me under. What I noticed, what I found, there was a great force which was pulling me inside water. I screamed, but only the water heard me because no one was there. So no one heard my voice. I had started on the long journey back to the bottom. It seemed, as he calls it, it was a long journey from surface to bottom. I started once again the long journey from surface to bottom. I struck at the water as I went down. I was striking at the water, expending my strength, and I was utilizing my strength as one in a nightmare fights, and it was as if someone is fighting in nightmare. There is a dream and you are fighting, useless fighting, that is. In the same way, that striking was useless. An irresistible force. I was striking, I was fighting to an irresistible force that cannot be defeated. I had lost all my breath. At this time, I lost my breath. My lungs ached. My lungs ached. I was suffering. I was feeling pain into my lungs. My head throbbed. There was throbbing. My head was hammering. I was getting dizzy. There was dizziness. I could not control my breath. I could not control my feelings. I was feeling giddiness, dizziness. But I remembered the strategy. Even after that, I remembered the strategy. What is the strategy? What was told by my teacher, swimming teacher, trainer? I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cork to the surface. I would spring from the bottom. What I need? Just a force. You need to press the bottom and you'll come out just like a cork come to the surface of water. I would lie flat on the water. Then after, when I'll come to the surface, I was to lay flat on water. Strike out with my arms, strike your arms, and thrash with my legs. Then you'll need a thrashing with your legs. Then I would get to the edge of the pool and be safe. And I'll survive. No problem at all. This was the strategy. Usually, this is taught by trainers. I went down endlessly, but that did not help me. I went down endlessly. I opened my eyes, nothing but water with a yellow glow. Inside water, I opened my eyes and I found nothing but water, yellow water, dark water that one could not see through. Through that water, one could not see because it was dark yellow water. And then sheer stark terror seized me. That fearsome terror, that rigid terror seized me. Terror that knows no understanding, terror that knows no control, terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. He's trying to describe that terror. What is the terror? Terror of water. And says this is the terror that has no control, that no one can understand who has not experienced it. If you have not experienced that terror, you will not be able to understand. I was shrieking underwater. My body was contracting underwater. I was paralyzed underwater, stiff, rigid, in fear. I was unable to move and full of fear. Even the screams in my throat were frozen. Screams in my throat were frozen. I could not recite a single word. Only my heart and the pounding in my head said that I was still alive. I felt alive only with these two things, my heart and pounding in my head. These two elements suggested that I was still alive. The narrator was alive. And then, in the midst of terror, came a touch of reason. And then, in between, there came a touch of reason. I started thinking, I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. Once again, he remembers the teaching of his teachers, trainer. As soon as you touch the bottom, you need to hit the bottom. At last, I felt the tiles under me. I felt the tiles under me. My toes reached out as if to grab them. My toes reached out as if to grab them. I jumped with everything I had. I tried to jump with all my might, all my power. But the jump made no difference. But that did not help me. The water was still around me. That means it was all useless. I looked for ropes, ladders, water wings. I was searching for all these things: ropes, ladders, water wings. Nothing but water. But I could not find anything except water. A mass of yellow water held me. Around me, there was nothing but water, and that water was holding me. Stark terror took an even deeper hold on me. That hard terror took an even deeper hold on me, caught me like a great charge of electricity. It seemed that I was shocked, I was being given a shock of electricity. I shook and trembled with fright. I was frightened. I was trembling. My arms would not move. I was unable to move my arms. My legs would not move. Neither of my limbs were moving. I tried to call for help, to call for mother. Nothing happened. I tried my best to call for help, to call for mother, but nothing happened. And then, strangely, there was light. And then I noticed, strangely, I noticed there was light. I was coming out of awful yellow water. I felt as if I was coming out of awful, fearsome yellow water. At least my eyes were. At least my eyes were out. Nothing else. Only eyes were out. My nose was almost out too. And just after that, my nose. Then I started down a third time. Once again, a power snatched me, took me to the bottom. I sucked for air and got water. I tried to breathe, but what I inhaled water. The yellowish light was going out, and I noticed that yellowish light was fading away.